Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the story of Concord, the sci-fi shooter that just couldn't get off the ground, literally. It was one of those rare games that managed to flop faster than it took to download the day one patch. Let's unpack what went wrong with this ill-fated title and why it crashed and burned so quickly. Hello legends, Gamer Blitz here. The buzz this week is regarding Sony's new shooter, Concord, just joined that club. Or should I say never made it to the club. Launched on August 23rd, Concord, Sony's team-based online-only first-person shooter, seemed like it had potential to rival the likes of Overwatch, Apex Legends, Call of Duty, and other team-based shooters. Yet here we are, just 2 weeks later, getting the axe. You heard it right. By September 6, 2024, Concord will no longer be playable. The game is over, folks. The jig is up. Concord is officially cooked. So, what happened? Concord was supposed to be Sony's next big hitter in their live service arena, a space sci-fi shooter with grand ambitions. Concord was meant to yet another live service competitor that would keep PS5 and PC players glued to their screens. But before it started running, there was a slight problem. Hardly anyone showed up to play. Game director Ryan Ellis announced Tuesday that Concord didn't hit the mark. Despite a truly impressive trailer with stunning visuals, Concord never managed to crack more than 1,000 concurrent players on Steam. I mean, that's fewer people than the queue at my local coffee shop on a Monday morning. Honestly, at that point, Sony probably should have seen the writing on the wall. If the beta numbers are lower than a round of Among Us at 3 AM, maybe it's time to reconsider your launch. After the extremely underwhelming open beta, Concord launched on August 23rd, 2024. And, well, it was more of a sputter than a launch. The game was riddled with issues right out of the gate. Occasional bugs, glitches, typical beta issues that even the most optimistic players couldn't ignore. But more importantly, no one was playing. It was a ghost time. Average queue times of 15 minutes for an open beta. During an open beta, this is the point where the game will be most accessible, but there were numerous cases of players unable to find others during matchmaking, or waiting a long time to find one match. Not to mention the long loading screens in between matches as well. From little to no interest from the initial trailer, player numbers plummeting faster than my KD ratio in Call of Duty during the open beta, it was clear that Concord was in deep trouble. Then what do you know? All of a sudden, it was announced that just 14 days after its failed launch, the final nail in the coffin arrived. Sony's pulling the plug and offering refunds for everyone who bought it on PC or PlayStation. On September 3rd, 2024, Firewalk and Sony announced that Concord would be shutting down on September 6th. That's right, just 2 weeks after launch, the game was dead in the water. In their official statement, the developers thanked the small but passionate community that supported the game. They plan to explore other options for the game's future. But let's be real, the only exploring Concord is doing now is in the archives of games that flopped spectacularly. Sony also announced that they would be offering full refunds to everyone who bought the game, which, considering how few copies were sold, probably won't take too long. At least they're not leaving anyone high and dry, right? Talk about a quick turnaround. In my personal opinion, having played the beta, I believe that the core gameplay was fun, fresh, and dynamic. But the core character design and world building and lack of originality caused it to fail. I mean, let's face it, we all saw the reaction to the initial trailer and how disappointed gamers across the globe were once they realized what Concord truly was. Just another live service shooter in an already oversaturated genre. They then proceeded to release the game after the open beta player numbers were staggeringly low. Even the disappointing Suicide Squad live service game was able to retain a higher player count than Concord. Which is really saying something, I've got to be honest. I think everyone who saw the initial trailer was hoping that we got a Guardians of the Galaxy style single-player experience, but instead we got the Concord, which never took off. Literally, the worst part. The dev team's future is up in the air. Layoffs and job cuts are most likely to be on the horizon, and that's never good news for the industry. So there you have it, the story of Concord, a game that managed to go from launch to shutdown faster than a speedrun. What do you think? Did you get a chance to play Concord, and if so, did you enjoy it? Was it axed before it reached its full potential? Was this unexpected, or did you see it coming? Was it deserved? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all things gaming and more.